Ghostbusters Frozen Empire was a terribly boring movie, so let's rant about it. So, the movie opens with a chase scene where the family is chasing a ghost through the streets of New York City and destroying basically everything in their path.
Oh, we're on a job, buddy.
I'm not getting paid. Are you getting paid? No? Cool. Does anyone else feel exploited?
This chase scene ends with them catching the ghost. And we find them next in the mayor's office. The mayor's basically like, yo, you can't have your 15-year-old ghost busting. That's just illegal. It's child labor. You're not paying her, and you're putting her in extremely dangerous situations for very little reason. We have adults to do this. You guys are the adults. You're her parents. You should be the ones making sure she's safe and not putting her in these situations.
Does anyone else feel exploited?
I'm like, oh, but she's like a really, really like smart, capable 15-year-old. He's like, I really don't care. She's not allowed to do this anymore. Why aren't you concerned? And they're like,
Sure beats another boring summer in Dorklahoma.
Next, we catch up with Ray and Podcast. Yes, his name is Podcast. No, I didn't remember him from the previous movie. I can't tell you anything. They don't really tell us who he is. They just assume you remember, and I didn't, so that's my bad. We meet Nadeem, who brings a orb to Ray for like appraisal. Ray's like, yeah, this is great, I'll take it. And Nadeem's like, perfect, have it. Around the 21-minute mark, we watch Mikey stick his finger in goo, Gordon Ramsay style. So that was awesome. Next, the family goes ghost busting, and Girly Pop is left behind per the mayor's orders. Girly Pop is devastated by this, but she decides to go to the park by herself in the dark and play chess by herself, naturally. Here she meets Ghosty Girl, who is a ghost.
Oh.
Yep. The next day, the family goes to meet all the ghost scientists and their caged ghosts. This ghost science lab is like in this abandoned aquarium, and they keep the ghosts in the tanks that are like, they're charged with like special anti-ghost whatever things. It's very Jurassic Park. It's very, oh no, if the power goes down, all the dinosaurs are gonna escape, oh no. So you can't guess what happens later in the movie, I bet.
Why haven't the ghosts escaped yet?
So the ghost scientists explain that they have a contraption that sucks the souls from haunted objects, and then they suck that soul into the containment area. After that, the family goes ghost busting again, and Girly Pop and Podcast are left by themselves so they can play chess together. She doesn't have to play by herself. However, they don't even get that far, because right after the family leaves, another person calls up and they're like, yo, we need a Ghostbuster, like, stat.
Hello, anybody there?
Ghostbusters.
So her and Podcast go, and it turns out that the ghost, none other than Ghosty Girl. Alright, Ghosty Girl's sitting there, and she's like, yo, you gonna bust me or what? Ooh, I don't like that. Ghosty's like, you tried to kill me. She's like, no, I didn't.
I have great aim.
Cool.
If I wanted to hit you, then I would have, but I didn't.
Right.
They get around to Ghosty Girl's unfinished business, because she carries around this like pack of matches. And she's constantly kind of like fiddling with it, and Girly Pop's like, yo, is that your unfinished business? And she's like, no.
Well, the last match burned my family alive, so
Yeah, well, that'll do it.
So that's the end of that. Next is a terrible match cut around the 44-minute mark. Just appreciate that. I sure didn't. After that, we catch up with Mikey and Slimer. I think this is the only time we catch up with them, but this is what Mikey's supposedly doing like the entire movie. No, his name is not Mikey in this movie. Yes, I'm calling him that because that's his name in Stranger Things. We're gonna have to get past that. After that, all the ghosts attempt to break out of the ghost scientist lab, because the orb that Ray got and has taken to the ghost scientists is orbing up, you know, it's doing its little orb magic ghost thing.
I think it's fighting extraction?
Not for this long.
So the ghosts start to break the glass of the tanks, and One of them ends up escaping.
Okay, we need to shut that thing up.
After that happens, the scientists are like, yo, where did you get this orb? Like, we gotta talk to whoever owned this before. So they go find Nadim, and Nadim's like, what do you want? We just want to know what's up. And he's like, I don't know what's up, bro. But they end up finding the secret room that his grandma kept with all this, like, ancient stuff in it. And then they're like, all right, you gotta come with us. And he's like, I don't really want to do that, but okay. Lucky and the gang take him back and do, like, experiments on him.
Are you a human?
And he's not a big fan.
How to devour a small child? Would you prefer skin on or skinless?
But they find out that he can, like, control fire. So that's cool, I guess.
A perfectly normal reaction.
Okay.
At this point, we have officially reached the halfway mark. If you feel like nothing's happened, that's because nothing has happened, and nothing will. Next, Ray and Girly Pop go to the library. I think Podcast is there too, I think. They all go to the library and they're like, maybe the answers are in the library. And it turns out all the answers they needed were in the library. And that's awesome. Go to the library, kids. Get some reading done. I think it was just an advertisement for the library. While they're at the library, the possessor, which escaped, tagged along with them, and then it tries to steal, like, a thingy that has a recording of an ancient chant that will release the bad guy. And so it tries to steal that and get it back to the bad guy. So they chase him around the library. The possessor ends up possessing a lion that tries to eat them. Girly Pop destroys it and consequently gets arrested. Not once, but twice.
People love them. They make kids want to visit the library.
Getting into the police station, and at the police station she gets scolded by two old guys. The first is Winston, who is like an OG. Winston's like, why'd you destroy the lion? That's the only reason kids come to the library.
Why did you shoot Fortitude in the face?
I was doing my job.
You don't have a job.
The second is the mayor, who we also love because he's based.
Magnifique.
My compliments to the chef. One would think, though, you'd have a little more respect for the public library.
I think it was just an advertisement for the library. And the mayor is like, yo, you're not supposed to be doing that. You destroyed public property. You're done.
For 40 years, I've been waiting to say these words. The Ghostbusters are finished.
And Girly Pop tries to get, like, snippy with him, and he's like, try again, little missy. One more word out of your mouth, and I will have you actually arrested. And she's like, so then he arrested you. Sometime after this, Nadim is told that he's the fire master.
Ooh, that's dramatic. I like that.
It's not a joke, man.
And they're like, yeah, so you're the only one who can save us. You're gonna have to do that, start training. And he's like,
I think we're all going to die.
after this, Girly Pop and Ghosty Girl hang out again. Girly Pop takes Ghosty to the science lab with the soul sucker and the dangerous monsters and the spirit orb. She's like, oh my god, I can become a spirit too, and then we could, like, hang out on the same, like, plane of existence. And Ghosty Girl's like, if you really want to. So she does, and the Girly Pop hops in the machine and her soul gets sucked out, and they hang out for 2 seconds, and then Ghosty Girl's like, bro, I'm evil. Which we already knew. I kind of skipped over that part, but, like, they mention, like, pretty early in the movie that she's evil, because she just, like, walks out into the middle of the street and she's like, yo, evil person. Do I have to be evil? Does it have to be this girl? And evil person's like, yeah, it does have to be her. Why does it have to be her? We don't know. We never find out. It's never explained. He just doesn't like her. Screw that girl in particular.
Maybe one day I'll understand.
Girly Pop ends up being controlled by Eviler, and he gets her to release him, and then he's like, I'm evil. And Girly Pop's like, oh no! Lucky appears from nowhere, and she's like, eat dirt. She doesn't say that. Oh, she comes out with the proton pack, tries to zap him. He's like, Nice try. He doesn't end up killing her. He doesn't kill Girly Pop. He doesn't kill anyone. He doesn't even release the ghosts that are there. He just straight up leaves. He's like, I don't care, and he leaves, which is valid, I guess. You know, know your worth, know when to deal with things, and know when to walk away from them. Girly Pop's super betrayed. She's like, oh my god, Mom, like I trusted someone I shouldn't have.
I just feel stupid.
And Mom's like,
And I told you to make mistakes.
Yeah, not really some monstrous deity.
And maybe next time get a tattoo.
she does not give a crap.
Ow!
Oh, you're fine.
Oh, actually, guys, I'm fine. Mom's in some fun. Living in the attic.
You're an adult, right?
Yeah?
Then why don't you take care of it?
Somebody that I shouldn't have. I just feel stupid.
Dad. Gary.
Yeah, I heard it.
Now that the eviler is escaped, he goes and he shoots ice spikes out of the ground. The town freezes over. Everyone's screaming. Everyone's freezing. No one dies as far as we can tell. He just threatens to kill them with the ice spikes. But everyone seems fine aside from the fact that they're cold and scared. So that's good. As the threat comes in, the scientists are like rushing over to the firehouse, and they bring new proton packs and all the gear because the city took all that away.
Civil forfeiture, I believe is the terminology.
So they break into the firehouse and they get these new proton packs.
New packs.
They're like, all right, we're gonna fight this guy.
Stop it! Fireball?
Who is he?
I'm Nadeem. I'm a potential deep well of psychokinetic energy and quite possibly possessed. Can I try the fireball?
I feel like you're just here for the zip line.
Yeah, knock your socks off.
At some point, Lucky's like, yo, proton packs aren't gonna do anything. Like, I tried, and he literally, like, didn't even care.
Didn't even flinch.
And they're like, okay, whatever.
How's that possible?
An ancient god from another dimension. He used to know its atomic composition.
Girly Pop's like, oh my god, well, if bronze or whatever we're dealing with, this helps, like, why don't we upgrade our packs? And Ray's like, oh my god, that's such a smart idea.
Brass.
Brass.
Zip line.
So then he helps her upgrade her pack. So that maybe, like, it'll work against the evil bad guy. That's going on. The OG gang ends up like pulling up, and they're all like suited up, and they got their proton packs, and they're like, oh my god, we're going to destroy this guy. While the OGs are up there waiting for Death himself to walk through, everyone else is just sort of wandering around the firehouse. No idea what they're doing, no idea where they're going, no idea what they think they're doing. The mom is like, where's Girly Pop? Where's Girly Pop? The science bro, like, meets a potato and screams.
Maybe the fight of my life. I thought you were one of the big scary ones.
Mickey and Lucky are just kind of like hanging out in like the basement. I don't know where they are. And then the possessor possesses Lucky's proton pack and aims it at Mikey, and Mikey is like, oh no, I'm gonna die. And Lucky's like, oh no, he's gonna die. And the possessor's like, ha 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 ha. So Mikey just stands there waiting for Death. He has plenty of time to move out of the way, but he chooses not to. He chooses to stay there and wait to get shot in the face with a proton pack. Paul Rudd comes down the stairs, sees that his son-ish person is in immediate danger, rushes down the stairs, leaps in front of him, all within the time that Mikey is still just standing there waiting for Death. He probably should have died if he's gonna be that dumb. But where was everyone? Everyone else was just wandering around and just happened to end up in this room, while the OGs are still up there waiting for it. So after everyone gets together and decides to roll up, Batty comes in. He's like, yo, I'm here. And they're like, oh my god, shoot, shoot.
Light 'em up!
That guy literally was like, why did I even show up today? And Lucky's like, I told you guys, like, it doesn't work.
I did tell you guys our throwers are useless.
And this is where we fully realize that Girly Pop didn't upgrade anyone else's packs. I don't even think she told anyone. Like, she told Ray. Ray was helping her, but he didn't upgrade his pack. He only helped her upgrade her pack. And they didn't, like, mention to anyone else that maybe they needed to upgrade everyone else's packs. So no one's prepared except for Girly Pop. And Girly Pop is in the basement talking to Ghosty Girl. And they're getting nowhere in life. Evil guy is here. He's freezing them. These spikes are coming out of the ground, freezing. They're dying. Nadim can't do anything. His ladder doesn't work, so he's just cowering there. Like, he's not frozen like everyone else. Everyone else is kind of like he just gives up. He gives up, and that's so real of him. He's just sitting there like, oh damn. So after Evil Guy thinks he's won, Girly Pop finally comes up and she's like, oh my god, I gotta save everyone, stay away from my family, or whatever. The Proton pack that she upgraded works. He's like, oh my god, how are you doing that? And then it's like starts trying or something. So he manages to freeze her thing and freeze her pack. She's like, oh no, we're all dead still. But then Ghosty Girl comes up and she's like, you know what? You're right. Me trying to see my family again isn't worth destroying everyone else in the entire world. I guess I'll help. And she lights her match, and the fire master, Nadine, fire, everything melts, everyone's okay, yay, Girly Pop, boom, with her upgraded pack, oh my god, it's working. The OGs are like, oh my god, you know what we can do to help?
Right, pretend I don't.
We can reverse the polarity of the ghost thing, and we can, like, suck him into it. I forgot to mention, but Evil Guy released all the ghosts. It wasn't that important because nothing really came of it aside from, like, the ghosts were gone. They didn't attack. It just happened. They're like, oh my god, if we reverse the polarity, instead of, like, all the ghosts getting out, all the ghosts will be sucked back in. Or at least this guy will be. So then they rush down to the basement and they're like, okay, we have to reset this thing.
If we neutralize the mass energy density to reduce criticality.
And they're like, okay, reset the thing. And he goes, and it's fixed. It was broken. Like, the entire movie, they were having trouble with it. It was, like, falling out of the wall at this point. Like, there was holes and everything was, like, boop, boop, boop. It's all you needed to do. That's all you have to do to fix it. You just gotta press those 3 buttons. They sucked the ghosty guy in, which shouldn't work because the reason the ghost escaped was because, like, the ice, like, poked holes in it, and so they were able to get out, and so there's still those holes in the, like, actual trap, so he should be able to also just get right back out, but I guess that's not how this works, and I'm stupid. So he's sucked in, and everyone's like, yeah, we did it, saved the day. New Yorkers who have been in the cold this entire time, they didn't go inside, they didn't try to find high ground or get out of the city or anything like that. They just stood in the streets doing this. We find out after the Eve guy gets sucked in that Melody's unfinished business was the matches and that she just lied to everyone.
I used to think these matches are some sort of key to moving on, but I've gotten used to the idea that I'm not going anywhere.
So you're telling me not a single event in this movie had to take place if she had just, like, 10 years ago? The whole reason any of this movie even happened, like, the way it did, was because she wanted to see her family again, and she thought this evil guy was the only way she was going to be able to cross over to the other side. That's the only reason she was doing any of this. That's the only reason Girly Pop got involved, and Girly Pop got her family involved. So if Ghosty Girl had just... we could have avoided this entire thing. The world didn't need to potentially come to an end. I was mad. I was mad when that was revealed to be her unfinished business, because normally when you're setting up a world, you are communicating to the viewer what the rules of the world are. And when she said, no, that's not my unfinished business, I took it to mean, oh, that's not how this world works. Unfinished business isn't really a thing. That's why we trap the ghosts instead of trying to help them accomplish their unfinished business. You can't. Like, you're just stuck as a ghost in this realm. I was like, okay, cool. We squashed that theory. That's not her unfinished business. That was a stupid question. We shouldn't have even thought of it. But like, anyways, so she accomplished her unfinished business, so she goes up and joins the stars in the universe and whatever. It's beautiful and magical and fine. After that happens, everything thaws. There's no damage to the ecosystem. Everyone who's out there in freezing temperatures, including our Ghostbusters, are perfectly fine. There's no like frostbite. There's no freeze burns. Nothing like that. The Ghostbusters who like froze so much that like they stopped breathing, they had enough oxygen the whole time to survive. It was fine. They didn't die. The evil guy was very nice in not skewering them with his icicles. No one's hurt. He really was just a benevolent evil doer guy. After this, they go out, they sign autographs, everyone's cheering, everyone's yay, 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 which is kind of crazy. Do you think they know that the Ghostbusters are the reason that all this happened? They cleaned up their own mess.
You have done it!
The mayor comes up to them and he's like, oh, you guys did it this time. I hate you guys. Screw you. And they're like, oh, aren't you proud of the Ghostbusters for saving the city? And he's like, oh, yeah.
What do you have to say to the Ghostbusters?
It sounds like we have your undivided support.
Yes, of course.
Gives in real quick.
I'm so happy to hear that, Mr. Mayor. Without Phoebe and her family, this whole city would be under 3 feet of ice.
That's our happily ever after. That's where we end our movie, basically. Everything has been resolved. Girly Pop is no longer upset that she can't be a Ghostbuster because child labor is back on the table.
Anyone else feel exploited?
Ghosty Girl isn't sad because she's missing her family because she got to cross over. Mikey didn't do anything this whole movie, but you know, he's still 18.
I'm 18 now.
Mom still doesn't seem to like her kids very much. Paul Rudd, he learned to have some boundaries with the kids. And the OGs, they're like, yeah, we're Ghostbusters.
Golden years!
So, what more could you want? So what we can grasp is that these writers didn't have a firm grasp of what was going on. In the broadest sense possible. They didn't seem to have a good grasp of these characters. They didn't seem to have a good grasp of pacing and where this movie was going. It really feels like this movie was supposed to be a handing off of the torch, right? This is the OGs meeting the newcomers, and it should have been the OGs passing the torch to the newbies and showing them the ropes and helping them grow and learn and come into their own. But instead, what we got was all of these people running around, not knowing what's going on, and then at the very end, getting lucky and surviving. There were no torches passed, there were no lessons learned. It was just a whole bunch of, oh, this is happening, this is happening, this is happening, this is happening, this is happening. Which, again, is a consequence of both having too many characters and not picking a couple to really ground ourselves in the story, and 2, having that excessively convoluted plot where we are giving characters weird motivations just so that we can get people where we want to get. It feels like we started with the end, what we wanted to happen at the end, and try to weave our way back, and then instead of cleaning it up before we send it out, we were just like, yeah, no, that works, send it out, we got this. Final thoughts. It was entertaining enough. Nadim absolutely saved the movie. The rest of it was okay. Like, I was bored most of the movie. I didn't care about any of these characters or what happened to them. I kind of was rooting for the bad guy, which kind of happens when I don't really care about our main characters, is I start to look for the most interesting character and root for them, and that was Nadim and the bad guy. There were individual moments that I found funny and entertaining. That being said, it's not a good quality of any movie when you are so bored watching it that you look for the little things in the background to make you laugh. If you haven't seen this movie, I highly recommend not watching it. If you have seen this movie, I'm terribly sorry. But go ahead and let me know your thoughts below. Do you agree? Were you bored watching this movie? Was it a waste of time? Or did you genuinely enjoy it? And if you did genuinely enjoy it, was it because of the nostalgia of seeing these characters, like the OGs, and then bringing in these new characters? Or was it more just because you're like, yeah, it was a good movie. I genuinely enjoyed it and I connected with these characters and I got it. Let me know. That's all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I know I had a wonderful time making this video and I hope you guys had a wonderful time watching this video. Feel free to like and subscribe below and I will see you lovelies next time. Bye!
I ain't afraid of no ghost.
Hold on.